Hello and welcome again to Simple Ways. Today we are going to delve deeper with the web app and we are going to see how to make our web app acts like an API. We are going to see what's an API and what does it mean that our web app can act as an API. Let's start directly. First we will create a new JS file, and this time we will test the search. And we shall add also a new index.html, and we'll call it index 3. Okay, and this one, we move it up so it is the last JS. Okay, now we have a fresh JS file and we have a fresh index.html file. So now today we are going to speak about the API. Simply, the API is an interface through which you send to an endpoint some data, like we are sending to our URLs, whether it's for testing or for the web app itself. And this endpoint, we are going to receive it in our web app, and our web app is going to interpret the data that it's received and is going to search for this data in our database, which is our Google Sheet, and then it's going to return to our web page or to our published web app. It's going to return the result of the search in the database. That's how the API works. We are having a coming course in the coming few weeks. Will be detailed about the API, but I thought that it's wise to give you a glimpse about it. Okay, so first we start with do get function. So do get and the famous E, which receives the parameters. Okay, and after that, inside here, I'm going as usual to prepare our sheet. So var, that's our spreadsheet, will be our spreadsheet app dot get active. Okay, and then we will have our sheet, which will be our spreadsheet dot get sheet by name. Okay, and as usual it is our sheet 1. It's not change it. Okay, so now like this I have the sheet with me. The first thing that I'm going to prepare the variable so that I'm going to use it for the search, which I'm going to receive it through my web app. So I will call it, this one will be the search tag, and this will be equal to e dot parameters dot tag. So whomever is sending me will send me a tag. I'll use it as a search tag when I'm keeping this one as the current version, which is the last, as we say here, that's the last JS. That's one will be executed either in our test or if we published or deployed this web app. Okay, so like this I had received my search tag, which is going to come. Now I need to search inside my sheet. So to search inside my sheet, I need to prepare the workplace, which is going to search inside, and I'm going to prepare an array that will receive the results, and then it's going to display it on the web page or the web app I will be displaying as an HTML. Okay, so I'm having the first column, having the first row, which I'm going to search through, and having the last row I'm going to search through. So first I will define variables. So I need to define a set of variables. So this one will be the tag column. This is an easy one, will be the first tag. So instead of making a name index, so I'm going, or a named range, I'm going to give it simply 1. And then I'm going to have another var, which will be the first row. Which will be equal to 2 because that's the second row. And then I'll have the last row, which will be the dynamic one, because whenever I'm going to add data to this database, it gets the last row. So the last row will be equal to my sheet dot get last row. So whatever I extend my sheet, it will get me the last row. That's I'm preparing the range I'm going to work through. Like this, I prepared the data that I'm going, or the variables that I need to start working. Now I'm going to loop through the rows to find which rows I need to loop through these rows to know which rows they have the result and I'm looking for. I'm going to search with the tag this time. You can change it to anything, and to add it to an array. So I need to define an array. Simply I will define an array as a result, and this result array, simply I'll make it an empty array for now, and I'm going to push the data using the JavaScript push property or method to it. Okay, now I'm going for my loop for let row. Let's start from the first row. Okay, this one first row, and this one make it first row, so be consistent. Okay, and then semicolon, it's going to end, so I is less than or equal to the last row, then semicolon, and then I'm going to increase my row at each cycle of iteration, and then I'm going to, that's where I'm going to put my data. Okay, inside here I need to navigate inside, so I'm going to navigate inside my data through the loops, and I'm going to prepare first the tag in this row. So I'm going to make it let tag, this tag in this row, I'm starting from the first row, will be equal to sheet dot get range. That's my row which I'm using now, and in the row column or tag column, that's I'm defining it with a row and column, and then dot get value. Okay, so like this, if I'm starting from the first tag, I've got this tag, I'm going to use it in the comparison, so, and then I'll use a comparison. So if this tag is equal to the search tag, I'm going to take some actions. When it is equal to the search tags, so I'm going to get this complete range, and I'm going to add it to my array. So result dot push. Okay, so what I will push inside my array, I need to push an array, another array which represents the complete data in this row. If it matches, so if I'm searching for A, I need to push all this data. It's about 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. I'm going to push all this range inside my array as the first element if it matches, and so on while searching. So I'm going to push. So I need to get these values. So I get also my sheet dot get range, but this time I'll get range as an array. So I'm not using only the row and column. I'll use the row as row, okay, and the column as the tag column because it's my first column, and then I need to use only one row. So this one is the number of rows. This is only one row that I'm going to add, and this one is the number of columns. We count them up to 5 columns, so I'm going to get 5 columns. So I'm going to get also to get values. Okay, when I get the values, it tells you that it will make the values as an array of array. Okay, it depends on the number, but I'm getting only one row, so it will be only one element. So all this will return me an array of arrays, this one. That's why I need to put it inside a parenthesis, and I'll take only element 0. Sorry, Control Z, and I'll take only Control Z, and I'm going to take only element 0, which is the first one, but it's inside array inside an array. So you need to understand that's array inside an array, and I'm going to take only the first element, which is of index 0. That's the first array because I'm taking only one row inside this range, and I'm going to push it inside my result if the condition that the tag in this row is equal to the tags that I received through here, through the E. Okay, and at the end here, after I finish, I need, just for now, I will log console.log. I need to log my array to know how does it look, but this will not work with the E and with waiting for the index from outside, so I'm going to change this a little bit. Okay, so I'll not be using the E for now, or I'll keep the E so I don't make a mistake. And here just I'll mark this one and the search tag. I'll give it a value directly. So I'll give it the A, which is the first one. Okay. And we save and run. So we missed one definition. Sorry, there is no row here. This one is our row. Sorry, Control S, because I is the default when working. I'm going to get a row just to understand it. Okay, perfectly. It had selected the A. If I change it to P, for example, it was P small. It detects exactly it's P capital, P small. So caps. So I need to understand it. So save and run. I need to get now 3 elements in my array. Perfectly, I got the 3 elements in my array. Those are the 3 P's that I have, equally for my values, equally for my template. So my program works perfectly like this. I had tested my program. Okay, now remaining is to create one variable here that we forgot or we didn't start with. So we made the logic and then we make the other part of the logic, which is going to convert it into a web app. So I need to define an HTML, which will be HTML service dot create output. I need to create a template from file because I'm going to substitute values inside it, and I'll use the index 3 file. Okay, so it will come to index 3, and if you remember at the end I need to return and HTML dot evaluate. Perfect. Now we had prepared our routine perfect in a perfect way. So remaining is that I need to go to my index.html, and here we will extend our knowledge of the scriptlets to make a loop in that scriptlet. If you know some scripting language like PHP or something like that, here these scriptlets it allows you to write some code or programming code inside your HTML, which is merely tags and text. Okay, it's not a script, it's writing it inside your lines, and the let's say the server or the compiler of the apps script is able to interpret these scriptlets into an HTML event. We are going to see how. So first I'll make this open tag and then I put a question mark. So first I'll put a div just to be, because maybe in the future we are going to use it. Okay, so now I prepared a div, and then inside the div I need to create a loop that is going to see this array of the result and write it inside. So to prepare the array, the result array, and to send it, I need to, after I had prepared the result array, so I need to make HTML dot result. So what I'm going to receive there will be equal to result, which is the array that I had generated here. Okay, and now I go to index, say HTML here. As we say, we open our tag as a normal tag, and then we put a question mark, and then I can write here code like for loop and so on. So I put here for var I is equal to 0, because I don't know the size of my array, which I'm going to receive, and this I need to be less than the result. I can use the result here directly because I had already sent it from the other side, from the JavaScript or GS file, Google script file, result.length. As we said in many lectures before, length I don't put parentheses after it because it's a property and not a method. And then semicolon, and then increase my I to iterate over all the loop. And then I need to open this parenthesis to put my code inside, and then I put enter. When I make like this, I need here to, because now it is separated the code into 2 lines, so I need to close this line separately. So I put here an opening tag, question mark, and at the end I put another question mark and a closing tag or closing tag. I close my tag, and here I close my tag also, and after that I can start writing some code. Okay, so simply I make some p paragraphs, so because I'm going only to write text. If you remember, we can use them from our code from before, which was index 2 in the previous lecture, which was this one. We use the date and so on, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so date, value 1, and so on. So the date this time will be my result array of index I, and then because that's 2-dimensional array, because it includes sum of arrays inside it. So the date was, the tag was the first thing that we place in our array. Based on here, I put this row, so the tag, the date, then value 1 and value 2. So tag will be index 0 in the second array, and date will be index 1, and then value 1 and value 2 will be index 3 and 4. So here I'm looking for the date, so this one will be index 1. Okay. So like this, I had prepared the paragraphs. So like this, I had created already a loop, which is programming part inside my HTML. So it's going to loop through the I, wherever the I is less than the length of my array, and then it's going to, each time we'll use the I of 0, and then it's going to take the elements 1, 0, and then 3 and 4 and put it in its values and so on, and then the loop is going to repeat again as if you are putting it in your JavaScript file, not, or the Google script file, not inside your HTML. Remaining only one step to take here, that I'm going into here. I need to remember to return back to the original search tag, which I'm going to receive from my through my URL as an API, like at the endpoint of an API, the normal default endpoint of an API. So I'm going to test the deployment. I can test it because you can turn to our previous lectures, because I had already one deployment. So I copied the URL, and I'm going to add here question mark and then tag that's equal to the capital A, and then I press enter. The script completed but didn't return anything because I didn't save. So let's redo it once more. Now perfectly it had returned, but it didn't return the values. I think I had made a mistake here. I removed the equal signs from here. As we save and run it once more. Perfectly, it had returned my data. You can see that's the first column. Now I can repeat again, and instead of the A, I'll put the P, for example. And you can see that all your three data, so 3 rows with P tag is already returned, and the data is perfect. matching with what is here. I can use, for example, template. It returns the template. Now you had seen that I can act with my web app as an endpoint of an API, and I can send this endpoint of the API with the data, passing it to the data, which is usually normal ways without Google Sheets or Google Apps script. You do it using the ASP or ASP.NET or net.asp, whatever you like to call it. But now we can do it perfectly using the Google Sheets. We had learned about an API as an interface with your data that you are stored in database you had stored in your sheet, and then the API or the interface is going to receive the endpoint and is going to use it to search inside your data and return some valuable information. This happens in everything. It happens in YouTube, it happens in tweets, it happens in dictionaries, and another wealth of information. Join our trainings, subscribe, follow. We are going to give more insights, and we are going within a few weeks to launch our training on Udemy for the APIs. You will find wealth of information and insights in this training. See you in coming videos. By the way, we are having 90% discount on our existing courses for the AppScript and Google Sheets and Forms on Udemy. You can find the link in the description box below. See you in coming videos with more insights from Google Sheets, AppScript, Forms, and Web App Now.